Hey fam, we are back with another What's for Dinner, and I'm super excited to share this one with you. We have some super easy and realistic meals that I throw together for my family. I do not meal plan or anything like that, so if you're looking for a meal planning video or like meal prepping, this is definitely not it. I come up with all of our dinners the night of. I just kind of throw things together and wing it with what I know my kids are going to eat. So that is what you guys are going to be seeing today, just some of the meals that I feed my family for dinner. We are a family of 5, however, most nights my husband is working, so I'm just feeding me and the kids. This is one of the nights that my husband is actually home, and we are having a delicious chicken dinner that he made. This was a very random dinner. He wanted to cook up a whole bunch of chicken to have on hand in the fridge for the week. So we have some seasoned up chicken tenders and chicken wings, and I'm going to share with you guys all of these seasonings down in my description box. I know I'm going a little fast here, so all the recipes for each meal will be down in the description box. We were also going to be having some curly fries with this dinner, and I thought it'd be nice to make a cheese dip to go with it. So I'm using some Velveeta queso blanco and some original cheese. And then I also have a cup of milk. However, I don't use the full cup of milk. I only use it sparingly as I need to. And then I also have this can of rotel, diced tomatoes, and green chilies. This is a really good add-in to any cheese dip. I really like this. I do only use a little bit. What I'm doing here is just dicing up my cheeses. I'm using about a 1/4 cup of each cheese, and I'm just adding that right into my heated pan on a low medium heat, and I'm going to let that cook up for a few minutes with a little bit of milk in it. Now, once that cheese sauce is nice and melted or almost melted, I'm adding in some of those tomatoes, and then I'm just going to give that a good stir and keep stirring it until it is fully incorporated and that cheese is melting really nicely. At this step, I'm going to go ahead and season up my dip. This is what I'm using to season up mine. And then, of course, you can add more milk into this as you need. You'll see me in a minute add a little more milk, and we're just going to keep stirring it until it becomes the consistency that we want. And here is how I served up our dinner. So I made a side salad to go with it, and this was Daddy's chicken off of the grill. He already pulled some aside to keep out for the week. And then there's those curly fries with that cheese dip. You guys, this was actually so good. We all really enjoyed this dinner for a little wing it dinner. My kids all tried the cheese sauce. My daughter did not like the fries with the cheese sauce, but she doesn't really like fries anyways. But the boys really enjoyed this one. And of course, I wanted to show you guys my plate. I just added the cheese sauce and some sour cream right on top. And my wings were tossed in buffalo and barbecue. It was delicious. This night, I made some steak. Now, my husband was back at work, so this was just a meal for the kids. And I ate a little bit as well. I only have 2 steaks out because that's about all we need. And I wanted to show you guys how I season up my steaks when I'm cooking them on the stove as opposed to the grill. So you guys know that those grill seasonings, they like stick to your steak really well if you're cooking them on the grill, but if you cook them on the stove, they stick to your pan. So I like to crush mine up, grind it with one of these little grinders, and then I season it just like this, just like I was seasoning it with some salt and pepper, and it does not stick to your cast iron whatsoever. My cast iron is already super hot. I don't know if you guys could tell, but it was smoking before I even put my steaks on. So these are only going to cook for a few minutes on each side. I'm really just crisping up that skin, and then I'm going to turn down the heat and let them cook a little more with some butter in the pan. The biggest tip that I could give you when cooking steaks is let your steaks rest before you go to cut them open. This is after resting for about 5 minutes, and that is about the temperature that I cook my kids' steaks, usually medium for the younger ones and about medium rare for my oldest. Now I'm making a mushroom and onion sauce. This was actually so delicious to put on the steak and rice tonight. So I started off with a 1/2 cup of onions and a 1/2 cup of mushrooms, and I'm sauteing that in some butter with some salt and pepper. And then once they're nice and sauteed, I am adding in a tablespoon of flour and mixing that until the flour is all gone. Once that's all mixed in really well, I'm going to start adding in some milk. Now, you could add heavy cream. I really wish I had heavy cream on this night, but I don't. And I was just throwing this sauce together, so I just used the milk that we use. And I did a very little bit of at a time. That way I could mix in that flour really well. And I also wasn't too sure how this milk was going to thicken up, but it thickened up just fine. It looks so delicious. I added in some extra pepper and I believe some garlic powder as well, just to give it a little more flavor. And this is how I served it up to the kids. I gave them their mushroom and onions on the side because I knew they probably weren't even going to eat it. But I put mine right on top of my steak and rice, and oh my gosh, it was so good. I kept putting more sauce on top of my rice and steak as I was eating it. I just could not stop. I really liked how this one turned out, and I just served it alongside of some carrots. And now we are doing some really kid-friendly and picky eater approved chicken and cheese quesadillas. You guys know my daughter is like the pickiest eater ever, but she actually really enjoyed these quesadillas. I was using some chicken from that first dinner that you guys saw, and then I also have some of this fire roasted salsa. I believe this is only made in Florida, but I actually don't know, so you guys let me know down below if this is just a Florida thing or if you've seen it in your stores before. I have some shredded Gouda cheese and some shredded mozzarella, and then I'm also going to be serving this alongside of some tortilla rounds. These are just corn tortilla chips. And then I have my taco shells. So let's go ahead and get started making these quesadillas. I have my dash griddle all warmed up. All you have to do is layer on your cheeses and your chicken and let them cook until they are nice and crispy, till your desired crispiness, because some people might like them crispier, some people might like them less crispy. So it's all up to your preference. And here is how I served up those chicken and cheese quesadillas. I did those corn tortilla chips on the side with that salsa. And my oldest also has some of that cheese sauce left over from a couple nights before. I gave him some carrots and cucumbers to go on the side. And don't you guys worry, my kids do not eat those things, but I definitely try. Now we are going to be making one of my kids' favorite meals, and that is fried salmon. They asked for some fried potatoes to go on the side of their salmon tonight, and this dinner actually turned out really good. So I start off by seasoning my salmon up, and I'm going to leave all those seasonings down in the description box below, don't worry. And I fry them in about a ½ inch of oil for about 5 minutes on each side, and this is how they turn out. This is so delicious. Frying salmon is a key way to get your picky eater to love it, I promise. For these potatoes, I just have some cut, washed, and dried potatoes. Well, they were almost dry. They're still a little damp, but I am seasoning them up with some black pepper, some salt, and some Flavor Gods garlic lover seasoning. This stuff is a staple in our kitchen. We absolutely love it. I do have a coupon code for Flavor Gods, so I'll go ahead and leave that down below in the description box as well. I don't think I've shared that with you guys yet. I'll also leave the coupon code right here on the screen, and then you can find the Flavor God link right in the description box. Now here are those potatoes all seasoned up. You want to season them really well so every potato is covered, and then spray down your air fryer so these potatoes don't get stuck. Toss them all in there, and I am frying those babies up at 400 degrees. I think I cooked them for 16 minutes. It wasn't very long at all, and they came out so nice and crispy when they were done. Here they are. I went ahead and topped them with some Parmesan cheese and then shook them up, and I decided it needed a little bit more. So after the Parmesan, I added some parsley as well, and then I went back in and did just a little bit of salt, and that was it for these potatoes. This up with some steamed broccoli with salt, pepper, and garlic lovers on it, and that was dinner. It was so delicious. We all really enjoyed it. This night I made some air fried chicken thighs and mac and cheese. I wanted to share with you guys a super easy and quick meal for those working moms or busy nights. We all have them. For my chicken, I'm just seasoning up with my staple seasonings. I basically use the same ones every time, but you guys will find that down in my description box. And then I'm throwing these in the air fryer. It was already heated up and oiled up, and these only cooked for 14 minutes in my air fryer. Now they were kind of on the small side, and they were boneless chicken thighs, so keep that in mind. If you guys have bone-in or thicker chicken thighs, they might take a little while longer. Now I'm making stovetop mac and cheese. I do it super simple. I'm just using some boiled, already cooked noodles, about a ½ cup of milk, and a ½ cup of of Velveeta cheese and just mix that up over low heat until it is all well combined and super cheesy. My kids really like this one. My daughter's not a huge fan of homemade mac and cheese. She really likes those boxes. I can always count on her to not eat my homemade mac and cheese, but the boys actually do like it. I didn't add any seasoning to this one this night because my daughter says when she sees the seasoning that she doesn't like it without even trying it. You know, kids, what are we gonna do with them? I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week's What's for Dinner. I hope I gave you and your family some ideas to enjoy for the upcoming week. If you did like this video, make sure to drop a comment down below and subscribe to our channel for more, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!